Have you ever had this experience where you thought it was going to be a great workout? You get into your car and then you drive to the pool, get your swimsuit on, hop in, and off you go. But then it doesn't become as planned. You can't do any of your drills, you feel tired, you don't hit your set for the day. Have you ever had that? If you said no, you're either the most awesome swimmer in the world, or you're lying. But for those who have had that experience, it may be because you need a swim coach. Now, hold up. I know what you all are thinking. Swim coach? But that costs a lot of money. Can't I just get resources online or go on Reddit or look at videos on YouTube? And while that is true, I want to pose 4 benefits that you may receive from having private swim lessons versus all the other resources online. So the first benefit of having a swim coach is that they can identify and fix problems early on. Now there is definitely a saying out there which is practice makes perfect. But I want to give you a different saying, that practice can make permanence. If you practice something over and over and over and over again, but without the right technique, you will eventually learn it incorrectly. Swimming is the same thing. Swimming heavily relies on muscle memory. The more you swim, the more that you will muscle memorize the way you swim. So it's really important that you learn techniques well at the beginning versus later in the future. Now, it can be very hard to do this without a swim coach. There's a lot of resources online that will teach you how to do the technique, but it is the responsibility of the swimmer to take those videos and apply it to their swimming. And that is where it can be very difficult. A swim coach can definitely ease that process. From my own personal experience, I began swimming roughly 2 years ago, and I thought that, a swim coach? I don't need them. I can use YouTube and all the resources on the internet. While that has definitely taken me so far, it didn't take me to the place I wanted to be. I would hop in the pool, just swim a couple laps, and just get tired out. I wasn't sure why I would get tired and why I was going super fast. That is until I got a swim coach. The very first meeting that I had, he was able to point out a plethora of mistakes that I was doing in swimming. My body was not balanced. I was not swimming on my left. I had my arms dropping. I was not blowing bubbles the correct way. Things that if I didn't hear from would have hindered my swimming career in the long run. And ever since that day, I realized that having a swim coach was the best choice that I made for swimming. The second reason for having a swim coach is that they can point out what I call invisible problems. For the vast majority of people, especially new swimmers, when they hop in the water, they're focusing on 1 or 2 things. You're either focusing on how to get to the other end, what your arms are doing, what your head's doing, or just focusing on surviving. It's very difficult to focus on your whole body at the same time. What this can lead to, however, is if you have not muscle memorized the techniques for a specific body area, you may not be thinking about that. So while you're swimming, let's say your legs are not fully developed and not kicking properly, your legs may be doing something very strange while you're swimming, and you may never notice that because you're in the water and you're focusing on swimming, not necessarily focusing on legs. And that is why drills are such an important tool, because it helps isolate that specific body part from the whole swimming routine. But you need to know, okay, my legs need work. We need to do drills on my legs. And if you do not realize that you need that, then you may never utilize drills for your legs. That is where swim coach comes in, is that with a swim coach, they can watch you swim. They don't have to worry about your legs. They don't have to worry about them getting to the other side. They just watch and observe. They can point out, oh, look, you need to work on your legs. Oh, look, you need to work on your head position. Things that you may have not noticed because you're swimming and you want to get to the other end. So the third benefit of having a swim coach is that they can provide guidance and build goals that are reasonable. Now, for many people, especially people who are getting into a specific hobby, they look to the top and say, oh, wow, I really want to get to that eventually. They look at Michael Phelps, they look at Michael Jordan, they look at all these famous people who've made it to the top, and they say, I want to be like that, or I want to get to that specific level. And that is an awesome thing, an awesome aspiration to have. However, what can happen is the new person, for example, will set a goal that is out of their reach. And when they fail that goal, then that's when they say, I'm a loser. I can't swim. I can't play basketball. I can't do any of these things, any of the sports that I want to. And maybe you're not at that level. However, if you took that aspiring goal and just cranked it down a little bit, when you reach that, then you would feel a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment. That's where a swimming coach can become really helpful. It's because they've coached many students. They've seen students who succeeded, they've seen students who failed, and they've seen students who are struggling, and they've seen students who do well. And they understand what a new swimmer can do versus an intermediate versus an expert. So they can sit down with you and build a plan that not only will eventually get to your aspiring goal, but do it in a way that is small and manageable. And once you hit that goal, you feel very proud of yourself. That's when I was swimming 2 years ago. When I began swimming, I had this goal if I wanted to swim a mile. Well, I could barely do 2 laps. The 2 laps was way far away from a mile. And I would hammer at it and swim, but I would get tired out. And I thought to myself, is swimming really for me? Well, what I didn't realize was that my goal was too lofty for my skills. I had a long ways to get to a mile. So when I worked with my swim coach, he developed a program that was manageable for me and that would get me to the point of swimming a mile. And now I am much closer to that goal versus me just trying to do it on my own. The fourth and final reason of having a swim coach is that they can be a mentor and a partner throughout your whole swimming career. For the vast majority of people who are not in professional swim teams or in groups, it can be quite lonely. You hop in your car, you drive to the place you're going to go swim, and then leave. Very rarely do you ever talk to someone else. And there is a component that is missed when you do it like that. You don't experience the joys of sharing a goal with each other. You don't enjoy giving each other feedback and helping each other out. And that's where the swim coach comes in, that you have another person that you can talk to, another person that you can bounce ideas off of, another person that can share the joy of accomplishing a goal. And the reason why I think this is the most important out of the 4 is that this could be the reason why you're motivated to continue swimming. For especially new swimmers, swimming can be extremely difficult and extremely slow process. You have a lot of things to learn and your body has not adapted to it. If you don't have the internal motivation to continue swimming, you may just give up. With a swim coach, he can be a mentor in helping you fix those mistakes. Like in the previous points I made, but also be a source of motivation for continuing on your journey. Because just imagine that, let's just say you barely could swim 2 laps and you have a goal to swim a mile, or not even a mile, let's just say 3 laps, and you successfully did that. Having another person to be happy for you, that is what makes swimming so great, is that you made the progress and another person can experience that. So that's why I believe the 4th reason is the most important. Those are the 4 reasons why I believe that if you're struggling with swimming, that having a swim coach could be the right choice for you. The first being that a swim coach can prevent mistakes early on in your career. The second being a swim coach can identify invisible mistakes that you may not even realize you're making. Third is that a swim coach can set realistic goals for you and keep your aspirations in check. And the 4th reason, and the most important, is that a swim coach is a mentor and someone that you can share your swimming career with. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Thank you.